Hello, welcome back to Retirement Clarity Radio. I am your host, Scott Newhouse. Really excited that you and the dozens of other people listening into this podcast are here today. We've got a really important topic of what is the value of a great financial planner. And notice my emphasis on the word great there. When I say great, there's obviously around 300,000 different financial advisors in the country. And so their skill level, their expertise, and the value that they can provide to you is going to vary. The way I like to think about it is if you're going to stay a night at a hotel, you do have lower cost options like a Motel 6, and then you have more expensive options like the Ritz-Carlton. Now, in the Motel 6, you're going to have a bed, you're going to have a shower, the bed may not be clean, the shower may not have hot water, but you're going to have a place to stay, lock the doors, get your night of rest, and you'll be fine, and you'll get out there the next day. With the Ritz-Carlton, the standard, the expectation is that you're going to get much, much higher quality service. It's going to be an immaculate room, a comfortable bed, and nice warm shower and all the amenities there. So I like to think about hiring a financial planner in the same way. You do have your low cost options that might give you just the lowest price and maybe not the most service. And then you have your higher cost options that presumably are going to give you the most service and cover the most areas of your financial life. And again, I said presumably. You've got to do your due diligence to make sure that the firm that you're looking at to hire is going to cover all of those topics that are important to your financial life. So if you're thinking about working with a financial advisor, I really do think you should listen to this episode. It's a really big decision, and I want to make sure that you make the right choice. Now, if you are considering one, I would encourage you to obviously consider the services that are offered, the cost that you are going to pay, as well as the value that they can provide. In my experience, a lot of people talk about the cost of using a financial advisor, but they don't properly consider the value that they can provide for you. And so at my firm, Forthright Finances, I firmly believe that the value that I provide my clients vastly exceeds the cost that they pay us. And we make our best effort to make sure that always remains the case. But you don't have to just take my word in terms of the value of a financial advisor and how much they can benefit you and your family. There's been numerous studies done by independent third parties that have said the exact same thing. Vanguard, Russell Investments, and Morningstar have all studied the issue, and in their own independent studies, they've shown that the value of working with a financial planner, a great financial planner, can vastly exceed the price that you, the consumer, the individual investor, pays for their services. And that's just the monetary benefit. A good partnership between my firm and my clients provides our clients with much more peace of mind, less stress, less responsibilities, and more time to spend doing the things that our clients love and enjoy doing, which frankly isn't doing the nitty-gritty of their finances. So I'm going to be talking about 8 value adds that my company, Forthright Finances, offers to our clients. Now, as I said before at the outset, not every firm is going to offer all 8 of these things. So I personally, again, I'm biased. Of course I'm biased. I personally think that we cover many more topics in more depth, and we do a better job with our clients than the quote-unquote average firm. But you can kind of look at this as maybe like a framework in terms of if you're interviewing firms, including my firm, you could say, hey, I know Scott and Forthright Finances are going to offer this. Is this other firm that I'm looking at, are they going to offer this as well? And so this can kind of be a guideline in terms of what to look for in terms of the services and the value that your financial advisor can provide to you. So let's get into it right now. The first value add that I think a great financial planner can do is they can help you prevent behavioral mistakes. And this is so important. It's so important I put it number 1. I don't know if it's the absolute most important thing a financial planner does, but boy, it's up there. Sadly, we are often our own worst enemies. Whether it's not being able to resist the ice cream in the freezer, and I am guilty as charged, or it's making mistakes with our investments. It's really important to have these guardrails to protect us from hurting ourselves. And so individual investors make mistakes with their investments in a number of ways, and I'm just going to list out 3 right now. But the first one is they don't exercise discipline to stay invested and committed to their overall investment strategy. So that could be, selling because you think the market's too high, selling because the market's going down. It could be a number of different things, but you don't stay committed to your overall investment strategy. The second behavioral mistake that I see a lot of people make is they make decisions based on emotion as opposed to adherence to the overall financial plan. So when you get started with my firm, and really any good firm, you should have a written, concrete financial plan that lays out what you're trying to accomplish, and then you should have an investment strategy that helps you, that guides you towards reaching those goals. And so you want to make your decisions intelligently and not based on your emotions. The third big behavioral mistake I see is people act on cognitive biases a lot. And I see this way too often, especially in the last 5 or so years in terms of our politics. There are people out there who, everyone's got their political viewpoints, but some people think that if one party's in power, then the stock market's going to tank. Or if one party's in power, then the stock market is going to do great. Well, I've got news for you. The stock market's done well under President Reagan, President Obama, President Clinton. It was basically flat under George W. Bush, and it did well under did I say President Obama already? President Trump. And so far in President Biden's presidency, it's done well as well. So do not make decisions based on your favorite political party and who is in power, because it just doesn't work out, and you're really doing yourself a giant disservice. But all of these 3 mistakes that I just laid out are what a financial writer named Carl Richards calls the behavior gap. And the behavior gap is research that shows that investors on average get between 2 to 3% lower returns than the investment funds in which they're invested. Let me repeat that because I know I said it a little fast. The behavior gap is research that shows that individual investors get on average 2 to 3 percentage points less than the investment funds in which they're invested. And those emotional mistakes, the behavioral mistakes that I just mentioned, that's a big reason why people get worse returns than they could have if they had just stayed invested, because they're making emotional and behavioral mistakes with their money. And avoiding these mistakes is a big reason why investors who work with a financial advisor get better returns than investors who do things on their own, because a financial advisor can help you avoid these behavioral mistakes by offering outside perspectives from someone who is not as emotionally tied to the investments, and at the same time is also working in your best interest as a fiduciary. So that's a lot. This might be a long episode, but that's number 1, avoiding behavioral mistakes. That's a really big reason why you should consider working with a financial advisor. The second reason is they provide an investment strategy. And I mentioned this just before, but it's really bears repeating. Some people invest just to invest. They don't have an overall strategy. They just buy investments they think are a good fit for them at the time. Now, is that the right way to invest? No, it's not. Because without an investment strategy, there's no rhyme or reason as to why you choose your investments. And the right investment strategy focuses not just on the investments you choose, but on the overall outcome you desire. And I just mentioned this in terms of your overall financial plan. So for instance, are you saving to create a retirement paycheck, or are you saving and investing so you can buy a nice RV to travel around the U.S., which I know a lot of people love to do, and I think that's fun too as well? Or would you like to ensure that your kids receive something at your passing? Or on the other hand, are you of the opinion that your kids can build their own wealth on their own, kind of just like how you did it? The answer to all of those questions is going to affect your overall investment strategy. And so we've really got to do a good diagnostic on what's on your mind in terms of all of this and more. Then we come up with the best investment strategy for you. So at my firm, we discuss all of these financial goals with you, and then we help you choose the right investment strategy to help you meet those goals. So that's really important as well. Number 3, we have to find cost-efficient investments. So we aim at my firm to make sure our clients are investing in the best funds with the lowest cost, or expense ratio is another name that it goes by, possible. So when you have a low-cost, well-diversified portfolio, you're going to minimize the cost that you pay to those investment companies, and you're going to maximize the returns that you take home for your retirement. In addition to those cost-efficient investments, we also need to consider what investments are appropriate for the different types of accounts that you have. And obviously there's a taxable account, there's tax-deferred accounts, and there's tax-free accounts. So the reason why I need to mention that is because some investments are better structured for certain types of accounts than others. And then lastly, another thing that a great financial planner should do for you is ensure that your workplace retirement accounts, the 403b, 401k, 457, have the best investments that are tailored to your overall financial and retirement plan. Number 4, what is the value of a great financial planner? Number 4, offers tax planning strategies. Now, I am a former professor of tax planning, I'm a former tax preparer, and I'm the author of a book on taxes and retirement. And so the reason why I focus on all of that is that being cognizant of tax implications and mitigating tax liability is really central to everything that I do in my firm, and it's just so important for my clients. We want to make sure that you are utilizing tax-efficient investments. We want to make sure you have tax diversification, that you take advantage of tax loss harvesting or taxable gain harvesting, as well as consider Roth conversions. All of these things, and let me just go on a little bit of a tangent here. We have no control over the investment returns that you get. So we can pick the best funds, we can pick low-cost, well-diversified funds and get those good, solid returns. But we can't do anything to increase those funds necessarily. But what we can do is we can plan around your tax situation and your overall tax strategy to lower your tax bill. And so that's going to put real dollars back in your pocket that would have gone to Uncle Sam because we take advantage of these tax strategies. And so let me just wrap up right here. So yeah, I kind of just mentioned this, but in sum, we are going to work on creating an overall tax strategy that will lower your lifetime tax burden. So doing all of these things will not only give you more money to spend during your retirement, but it's also going to offer more money to your beneficiaries in the future. Now, our fifth thing that we're going to talk about today is a great financial planner can help you clarify and achieve your financial goals. In the past, financial advisors mainly or only focused on managing your investments, and they really did little or nothing else for you. That's not the case anymore, and you should not work with anyone who is only focused on your investments, although of course they're important, but it's not the only thing that you should focus on. Instead, what you want to do is you want to work with someone who's going to take the time to get to know you, as well as help you uncover and understand your internal motivations and your goals. Now, once your life and financial and retirement goals are clear, only then can you find the best investment strategy to ensure that everything is in sync and works together to achieve your goals. And as your life changes, your goals may and likely will change, as will the specific recommendations to achieve all of those goals. But that's the job of a great financial planner. Help you uncover those goals, make recommendations to achieve them, and then monitor and update them so that we're always on track to hit the goals that are so important to you and your family. The sixth item that I think a great financial planner can do for you is they can explain difficult financial concepts. Now, you should be able to delegate a number of responsibilities to your financial planner, and that's a big reason why you are paying them. At the same time, though, they should also be able to teach you. I personally don't think it's enough for a financial planner to simply give recommendations without any explanation as to why. Now, you might be thinking, well, Scott, I don't want to learn this stuff on my own, and I get it. You definitely don't need to become a certified financial planner like I am. But your financial advisor should be able to break down these complex subjects and topics into clear, understandable terms so that you not only know what to do, but why you should do it. And that's especially important for me because teaching is something that I hold really near and dear to my heart. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she taught elementary school. I'm a former professor of financial planning at Cal State University Northridge. Go Matadors. I've also written 3 books on retirement planning, and I've created a personal finance course for young people in their teens and 20s and 30s to kind of learn about money. So I love to teach, and I think it's really important that you work with someone who has the heart of a teacher. Now, the 7th thing that I have for us today in terms of what's the value of a great financial planner is to help you create and review your estate plan. Now, one of the most important and overlooked things that people near retirement need to do is ensure that their estate plan is up to date with the right documents either created or updated, reflecting all of their wishes for what they want to happen in the future. Now, since working with an estate planner is often a costly process, my firm, Forthright Finances, we've partnered with a national estate planning firm to help our clients create and review their estate planning documents like a will, trust, power of attorney, etc. And there's more documents than just that. And we're able to do that at a price that is considerably less than the national average. Now, not only does this save our clients money, it ensures that their wishes are followed for the rest of their lives, as well as avoids unnecessary government fees like probate, and makes sure that our clients' money goes to where it's intended to go. Now, I do want to say this is something that honestly only the cutting edge financial planning firms are doing. So if the financial planning firm, financial advisory firm that you're looking at is caught in yesteryear, well, they're probably not going to offer this. So I'm biased, but I think you need to be looking at someone who's trying to continually improve their firm, their processes, and the value that they add to their clients. Again, I'm biased, so take it for what it's worth. But that is something new that we're offering to our clients that we're really proud of. Now, number 8, we are wrapping up. This is our last one for today. What's the value of a great financial planner? I think this is so important that a financial planner provides peace of mind and reduced financial stress. Now, while you can't measure that, you can't measure peace of mind, you can't measure reduced stress, there's something to be said about knowing that you have a partner and an expert to assist you in all areas of your financial life. This will be someone that you can delegate work to, as well as be there to assist you when something comes up and you need an unbiased perspective on something. They're going to be able to save you time, money, and energy by working with a professional instead of trying to do it all on your own. Now, and the data backs this up. Oh, and I'm wrapping up here. So, as we go into this very last point, the data backs this up that this is a big intangible benefit for people. So, according to Sun Life, who did a study on this, people who are working with a certified financial planner are, and I quote, more than twice as likely to say they are confident in their plans to retire than those with no financial plan. So, I've got to say, of course I'm biased, but I really think if you have not created your own financial plan, you really need to consider if it's going to be worth it to you to hire a financial planner. I really do think the cost is really insignificant compared to the value that a great financial planner can provide. And again, you don't have to just take my word for it. If you go to my website, forthrightfinances.com, and then you just click on value, I put a little tab up at the very top. You can see this article up on my webpage, and then you can scroll on to the very bottom, and then you will see 3 independent research studies that all go through the value that a financial advisor can provide. Again, coming from Morningstar, Russell Investments, and Vanguard. So that's all I've got for today's episode. If you would like to get your own financial plan started, just go to startmyretirement.com. Startmyretirement.us, startmyretirement.us, and we will get to work in creating your one-page retirement plan. All right, everybody, have a great week. Bye. Thanks again for listening. As a reminder, you should consult with a financial advisor familiar with the specific circumstances of your unique financial situation before making any financial decisions. Nothing in this podcast is a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Any mentions of rate of return are hypothetical in nature and not a guarantee of future returns. Scott Newhouse, CFP, is an investment advisor representative of Forthright Finances, a California and Nevada registered investment advisor.